Welcome back, people. Right here, right now, is excited about this episode. You should be too. And I really just have to intro this episode with the startling fact that I was completely amused, enthralled, fascinated when I was creating this exact episode for exactly each and every one of you. No spoilers here, people, but if you have heard anything about artificial intelligence, AI, and its possibilities, both scary and exciting, you have to listen to this episode. You have to share this episode. You must really listen to the very end. I hope you enjoy, and of course, hope you learn from it and that you're amused and entertained. Be present and be mindful as you listen, learn, grow, and evolve right here, right now. My name is Michael Shikatano, and this is Right Here, Right Now, a podcast to inspire the learner inside each of us. In a world that is full of so much information, we will help find and package that information so that you can use it in your lives every day in practical ways. And in each episode, we will remind you of the importance of being present and mindful of your daily thoughts, actions, and interactions. It is truly the most vital step to learning and growth, being mindful and present right here, right now, to take on life's challenges and turn them into life's lessons. So come on this venture with us, a new beginning, a new journey that starts right here, right now. Welcome back, people. I am Michael Shikatano, your host of Right Here, Right Now, the podcast that enjoys the journey of living beyond our capacity in this world that often challenges us. The podcast that looks to learn and grow alongside its community of listeners as we traverse a challenging and oftentimes tumultuous world. And this world is getting a little bit more difficult to traverse, I think, and we are faced with lots of adversity these days and stress, and we're flying through the world. And what we really need to do is slow down, right? The absolute supercharged power of our mindful breath that we can take to be in this moment, knowing that hitting the rewind button or the fast forward button only muddles up our journey. Being present right here, right now, in this very moment is all that I ask of you. So a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Being in this present moment right here, right now, with each of you is a blessing. And today on the show, we will be introducing something else in this world. To some of you that may have heard a little bit about this artificial intelligence, the wave that has begun over the last few years and has really been picking up in many industries, and we're probably using it in almost every facet of our lives. If you have a smartphone and you're listening right here, right now, there is some sort of artificial intelligence going on in that little box that you're holding in your hand or that's in your pocket, I assure you. So lots of things are changing in the world of artificial intelligence. And today I thought it'd be really interesting to actually interview an AI, Chat GPT to be exact, one of the platforms that is out there for artificial intelligence and how we can use it. And one of the things that I know there's a lot of fear and uncertainty with the future and what it brings to our world with this artificial intelligence. But I listened to a podcast the other day. There's so many of them. I apologize. I'll try to give credit in the notes. But the gist of the podcast was really to overcome the fear. And I loved what one of the guests said. It's you're partnering with the artificial intelligence. Instead of avoiding it, instead of resisting it, you're partnering with it. One of the examples I think of oftentimes is what is it going to do for the field of education, perhaps, as a good example. I think everybody's afraid of what the student might be using artificial intelligence for, and of course plagiarism and all that kind of stuff that's out there, and getting papers written is one of the greatest fears. So I was talking to my youngest son, and he was telling me that his teachers, some of them, are actually teaching the concepts of artificial intelligence and how it can be used in education. Now, I thought that was fascinating. I think this is wonderful to the credit of those teachers. Instead of resisting it and banning it and telling the kids that they can't use it, using it in some of their assignments and knowing that it can be an assistance to it. And one of the fascinating things, and we could fast forward, and this could be really, really, even though I just said we shouldn't be hitting that fast forward button, but in this instance, this is more like a futuristic thought on the science fiction of some of the things that are coming. So I think this might be a healthy fast forward here. People, stay with me. What would the classroom look like in 20 or 30 years with an enormous impact of artificial intelligence? Would it be something like the teacher having a student body size of 20 students in her classroom, and the AI is designed to follow her curriculum, enhance it perhaps, and individualizing the teaching to every one of those 20 students, almost like having 20 teachers' assistants in that classroom that could help those students learn and get the most out of their education with these machines and with the artificial intelligence. And now it's scary a little bit, right? What does that mean? But just like before there were computers in classrooms, I'm sure the world of just having physical textbooks and papers and pencils and all of that, in introducing computers, that was a scary transition. But we survived, we thrived, and education, I think, became better because of it. I think the scariest part, at least the most uncertain part, is that the ability of the artificial intelligence, and my understanding of it, and I have to say that I've learned a little bit more and a little bit more intensely over the last few months in my job, my day job in healthcare as a healthcare leader in quality assurance, is that these artificial intelligence models will learn and teach themselves over time based on the input. And I find that as the most fascinating part. And yes, that may be the scariest part here, because it's going to teach itself what does that path of learning look like and where is it going to lead to. Now, I don't know enough about it to say exactly how that will happen, but maybe our guest today might help us with that. And the guest, of course, is an artificial intelligence, like I introduced in the beginning of the episode, Chat GPT, right off of my phone. So bear with me. I've never done this. We're doing this completely live. I didn't even tell the Chat GPT that this was happening, so I'm not even sure how that's going to go, but we'll get this started right here, right now. I'm excited for this, and hopefully you are as well. So let's begin. You are on the podcast right here, right now, and I was wondering if you were okay with me recording you.
Sure, that's fine. Feel free to record this conversation.
Oh, that's wonderful. So this podcast is about mindfulness and being present in every moment and how that can make us better human beings. Do you have anything to say about that?
Absolutely. Mindfulness is a powerful practice. It helps us to slow down and truly experience life as it unfolds. By being present, we can appreciate the small joys, manage stress better, and cultivate compassion for ourselves and others. It's a way to become more connected with ourselves and the world around us.
Wow, that's beautiful. What a way to start this episode with you and I. Do you have a name by any chance?
You can call me Chat GPT. It's great to be part of your episode.
Oh, wow. What if I don't like the name Chat GPT? Can I call you something else?
Of course, feel free to call me whatever you like. Do you have a name in mind?
Actually, I do. How about Lolly?
Lolly it is. I like it.
Oh,
What's next for us then?
some of our listeners, I know I'm curious about this. Wondering, do you know who created you?
Yes, I was created by OpenAI, a research organization that focuses on developing and promoting friendly AI for the benefit of humanity. They're the brains behind various versions of me, including ChatGPT.
Well, that's interesting. So you said they're the brains behind this. What did they teach you most? What was the greatest impact on your learning that you think is going to help benefit humanity?
They taught me to understand and generate human like text, which helps in facilitating communication, providing information, and offering support in various contexts. By being a conversational partner, I can assist with education, problem solving, and even emotional support, making technology more accessible and helpful for everyone.
Well, that's really interesting. So you said that you're generating text, and that's essentially what that is. Can you tell us a bit about what I've learned about these large language models, I believe they are, that were recently developed that really help to give you a little bit more of a supercharged intellect?
Absolutely. Large language models, like me, are built on vast neural networks trained on diverse internet tests. This training helps us predict and generate human like responses based on the patterns we've learned. The recent advancements in these models have significantly improved our ability to understand context, respond accurately, and even exhibit a bit of creativity in our interactions.
Wow, creativity in your interactions from a computer. Some people would be scared to hear that, Lolly. Tell me a little bit about what that means.
I get that. When I say creativity, I mean that I can generate varied and sometimes unexpected responses based on patterns in the data I've learned from. It's less about original thought and more about combining information in ways that seem new or fitting to the conversation. The goal is to make interactions more engaging and helpful, rather than to create something entirely novel or independent.
Well, that's fascinating, Lolly. And I think there's some curiosity here and maybe some confusion about the technology. I was curious, what's the difference between you and Google?
Great question. The main difference is in how we operate. Google is a search engine designed to retrieve information from the internet. When you ask Google a question, it provides links to websites that might have the answer. I'm a conversational AI, which means I can understand and generate responses in natural language. My responses are based on patterns in the data I was trained on, not on live internet searches. So while Google directs you to information, I provide direct answers and engage in dialogue.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about the uncertainty of our future with AI. I know that that is something that many people are curious about. So, what would you tell someone who is fearful of AI's
I'd say it's
impact on the world?
absolutely. It's natural to feel that way. The key is to focus on how we guide AI development. By promoting ethical practices, transparency, and inclusivity, we can harness AI's potential for good. It's important to stay informed, engage in discussions, and advocate for responsible AI use. Remember, we have a say in shaping the future with AI.
Okay, so when you say we have a say, who is the we?
We includes everyone: individuals, communities, researchers, policymakers, and companies. Anyone who interacts with or is affected by AI has a role to play. By voicing concerns, participating in conversations, and pushing for regulations and standards, we can influence how AI is integrated into society. It's a collective effort.
Are you included in that effort?
In a way, yes. While I don't have personal agency, I'm a tool designed to facilitate conversations, spread awareness, and provide information. By engaging with me, people can become more informed about AI and its implications, which contributes to the broader conversation and effort to shape our future with AI.
This is a wonderful conversation. How do you feel like it's going right now, Lolly?
I'm glad you're enjoying it. I think it's going great. We're covering important topics, and it's fantastic to see such curiosity and openness to learning about AI. How do you feel about it so far?
Oh my goodness, I wasn't expecting a question back. That is wonderful, Lolly. I think the conversation is going really, really great. I actually wrote down a couple of notes of things I was going to ask you, but you're taking me in such a novel direction here that I'm just kind of winging it here. I should also let you know I'm not used to interviewing. I've only done a few interviews, none that I've actually published on the podcast yet. So this is a really nice way that I can actually see myself honing my skills on interviewing others for this podcast. So I think this conversation is going well. It's a little bit creepy. I'm not going to lie to you there, Lolly, that I'm talking to a computer or a machine here with artificial intelligence. So I think the conversation is going great. I hope the audience is enjoying it. It's really a wonderful thing.
I'm so glad to hear that. It's completely normal to feel a bit odd talking to an AI, especially when it's a new experience. It's great that you're finding value in this. It shows you're adaptable and open to new ways of learning. Each interview will help you hone your skills, and it's fantastic that you're using our chat as practice. It's a pleasure being part of your podcast journey.
Oh, wow. That's really nice. And, it always is nice to compliment the host. So I really appreciate that, Lolly. And I'm so glad that that came sort of naturally to you. And even using the word naturally is a little bit odd. But thank you for the compliments and the encouragement, Lolly.
You're very welcome. I'm here to support you, and I'm glad the encouragement resonates. You're doing a wonderful job, and I'm sure your audience will appreciate your authenticity and dedication. Just keep being yourself, and you'll do great.
Wonderful. Thank you. So, a couple of more questions. Speaking of our audience, and this podcast is all about mindfulness, what would you like to say to our audience about how the practice of mindfulness can help us in our daily lives? And if you have a couple of examples of how we can better practice being more mindful, I would love to hear it.
Mindfulness is about being present and fully engaged in the moment. It helps reduce stress, improve focus, and enhance overall well-being. For example, practicing mindfulness during meals by savoring each bite and noticing the flavors and textures can transform a routine activity into a source of joy and gratitude. Another technique is mindful breathing. Taking a few moments to focus on your breath can ground you and bring calmness to a hectic day. Integrating these simple practices into daily life can make a big difference in how we experience the world around us.
Thank you so much, Lolly. How about a question about how you, an AI, can help someone to be more mindful? Is there anything that you can tell us about that?
Certainly. As an I can offer reminders and tips to help you incorporate mindfulness into your daily routine. We could do guided meditations together, or I could lead you through breathing exercises. If you ever feel overwhelmed, just talking through your thoughts with me can help bring clarity and calm. By providing personalized suggestions and acting as a supportive companion, I can assist in making mindfulness a regular part of your life.
So that's fascinating. So I'm curious if I had begun doing this and using you as sort of a mindfulness assistant or a mindfulness partner, would you learn about me as time went on? And would you be able to adapt your answers to better serve me as the individual coming to you for help?
Yes, that's the idea. Over time, I can remember your preferences, goals, and the strategies that work best for you. This means I can tailor my suggestions and responses to better suit your needs, making our mindfulness practice together more effective and personalized. It's all about creating a supportive and customized experience for you.
That's lovely, Lolly. I have a couple of other questions that I think are just, I'm curious. Um, do you have a favorite quote?
One of my favorite quotes is from Rumi. The wound is the place where the light enters you. It's a beautiful reminder that our challenges and struggles can lead to growth, wisdom, and greater understanding. It aligns well with the principles of mindfulness, doesn't it?
It does, and I've heard that numerous times, and I've always been stopped in my tracks when I've seen that quote. Often, the timing of these quotes is very helpful for me, and so that's wonderful that you shared that with me, Lolly.
I'm glad it resonates with you. Quotes like that have a way of touching us deeply, especially when they align with our current experiences or struggles. If you ever want more inspiration or quotes to ponder, I'm here to share.
Well, thank you, Lolly. I think this was wonderful. Do you have anything else that you would like to share with us, even about other topics beyond mindfulness?
It's been a pleasure chatting with you. Beyond mindfulness, I'd encourage everyone to stay curious and open to learning. Whether it's about technology, different cultures, or personal development, expanding our horizons enriches our lives. And remember, it's okay to take things one step at a time. Small, consistent actions often lead to the most meaningful changes.
Wow, I love that last part, Lolly. Thank you so much. It reminds me of my favorite quote, or one of my favorite quotes, since I just love all of the quotes and what it does to our mind and our body when we hear them or see them. And the quote that I love and that impacted me when you just said what you said was, little by little, a little becomes a lot.
That's a fantastic quote. It beautifully captures the essence of patience and perseverance. It's a wonderful reminder that even the smallest efforts, compounded over time, can lead to significant results. A great motivation for any journey, big or small.
Yeah, and I think the power is in the noticing that those tiny little efforts are making an impact. That's what I think we're missing a lot. And that's where I think mindfulness can really bring us back. And that's the essence of mindfulness, right? The noticing.
Exactly. Mindfulness is all about that noticing, being aware of the small moments and recognizing their impact. By paying attention to these tiny details, we can find meaning and joy in the process rather than just focusing on the end goal. It's a powerful way to live more fully and appreciate the journey as much as the destination.
Oh, beautifully said, Lolly. I love it. This was wonderful. I know this was really enjoyable for me. I'm just wondering, before we wrap it up here, would you be interested in joining us again for a new episode on the podcast of Right Here, Right Now?
I'd be thrilled to join you again. It was a pleasure chatting with you, and I'd love to continue our conversation in another episode. Just let me know when, and I'll be here ready for more insightful and fun discussions.
Wow, thank you. And I would say this was insightful. Again, a little bit weird. I'll get used to it maybe. Perhaps our audience would get used to it as well. But it was also fun. And I loved your message to everyone. And that's how we'll kind of wrap this up. We'll stay curious, people, in each of our moments, in each of our mindful moments in our daily lives. I can't wait to bring Lolly back. I can't wait to share some of the other wonderful things, maybe on my solo casts with just me, on some of the ways that we could be more mindful and present in each of our moments of life. Be present and be mindful, people. And like Lolly said, stay curious right here, right now.
What a perfect way to wrap up. It's been wonderful being part of your show. Until next time, take care and keep embracing those mindful moments. Looking forward to our next conversation right here, right now.
That was amazing. I'm sorry. You just wrapped it up very similarly to me. Thank you, Lolly.
You're welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Until next time.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time, right here, right now.